Good morning, good afternoon, Katsucon. How you feeling today? What time is it? It's officially 12:30 and it's Jujutsu Kaisen time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guests. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Alright. Hi everyone, my name is Kaiji Tang. I'm a voice actor from Los Angeles and I voice Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yatco, and I voice Nobara Kugisaki. Hi, I'm Anairis Quiñones, and I'm the voice of Rika /
And that's the panel. Thank you guys so much. Happy to be here, you guys. I think for this panel, we're gonna tell you a little bit about the process we had and our experiences recording the show, and then I think we're gonna open up some questions. Yeah, it should be a really good time, you guys. If you saw us looking up earlier before the panel started, if you guys see the chandeliers up there, we're taking bets on how heavy those things are. So right now we're around the 500-pound mark. So you know, if we have heavy guesses here.
501.
501.
Yeah.
Want to start on that side?
Oh.
Yeah, bring it over this way. I'm throwing you guys under the table.
Okay. You're the first to talk about this. What exactly did you talk about? I don't know. Let's talk about what was it like for you jumping in the movie? Like, what was your experience in the recording session for that?
It was session, yeah, singular one. Because Rika, you know, major character that comes around, shouts for you to bullies people.
You didn't do 4 sessions for all that demon murder? There was a lot of demon murder.
Nah, one session, that was good. I was always...
Look at this, pro.
Absolute pro, you guys. I love Rika, my voice. But no, it was cool. Because, you know, I knew about Jujutsu Kaisen already. I was like, oh, I know that Yuta and Rika are characters coming up, but I don't typically play little girl characters. You see me doing more spunky characters usually. So I wasn't really expecting anything. I got the audition. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna send it, you know, do my thing, have fun, you know. And then I booked it. I was really surprised. And it was really fun working with Susie on that, who was our director. Because, you know, like, especially when it came to like the Curse Rika line, like that was easy. She had to direct me more on like, you know, actual little girl stuff. Yeah, but Curse Rika was like, oh my god, it's great. Like I barely put any effects on that. Right. Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. It was really fun, and I love Yuta and Rika's relationship. Oh yeah, I love it a lot. It's very, you know, warped, but it's very sweet. And I respect
Warped wholesome.
Yeah.
Warped wholesome.
Yeah, you know, like it's toxic, but you can't help but support it.
But also pure.
Yeah, really toxic. It's like Futara.
Ooh, it's terrible. I like it.
Okay, I'll go there. Okay, so for me, when I got the audition for Jujutsu Kaisen, like Nobara was the only female character, you know, on the list at that point, because you don't even meet Maki until what, like 6 or 7, something like that. So she was my only shot, and I didn't know the franchise at all before this, but I did my homework, and then I watched the first 3 episodes of the sub because those were already out on Crunchyroll, and I was like, oh shoot, she's awesome. No, I want this too much. It's never gonna happen to me. And then I slept on it, and then I waited until the very last second to do my audition. Don't be like me. And then I got lucky. I got lucky that I was what they were looking for. And I got the email like a week or 2 later, and then all of a sudden I was recording the end of episode 2, and I was like, wow, it's for real. Yeah, no, I love her. I think she's so cool. She's so inspirational to so many people, me included, and I'm a lucky gal.
I was actually also a bad actor when the audition came in. Don't do what I did either. I didn't do homework. I didn't know what Jujutsu Kaisen was. I was, oh my god, it was a complete boomer day for me. It was like, you know, I at this point during the year, generally I'm a pretty big anime fan, right? I love watching anime. But at that point during the year, I had not caught up on like anything, right? I was really busy. I was just trying to keep up with like the work that I was doing that requires a bunch of research on its own. So those were the only shows I was watching at the time were the shows I was a part of. So when I got this audition, I didn't even Google it. I didn't even look it up. I was just like, anime number 4 today. All right, let's just read this. And the only way I sort of knew where it was going was because the company that the studio that does Jujutsu Kaisen also does a show called Bungo Stray Dogs, right? And I voice a character named Dazai. So with that little bit of information I had to go on, right? So I'm like, okay, I know what they kind of sort of like listening to. I read the character description, sounds Dazai-esque. So I gave it a swing, and it worked out. And when we scheduled to record the show, that's when I was finally like, okay, I'm in the show now. I should actually sit down, do some research. You know, let's see what the show is. Google it. Oh, this is cool. I like this show. Yeah. So yeah, don't be like me or Ed. Do your homework and get your auditions done on time. So basically, that's how we all got into the show. It's been, what, 2 years since, right?
Yeah.
Our lives are drastically different now.
Very.
I joke with my wife all the time where I'm like, I can't believe Satoru Gojo changed my life. Like, it's a weird thing to say. Right? I know, yeah. It's devastating. It's actually devastating for me, I have to say. I'm jealous of like these two. They get to say like, oh, we had Nobara change my life. That's cool. I'm like, yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
How much Gojo stuff do you have around your house? Wait. How much Nanami stuff do you have around your house? Honestly saying.
This is pure. No, you know, like, you go to these cons and you get gifted a lot of stuff by fans, and I never throw any of them away, obviously, but the problem is, I never throw any of them away. So if you ask Marcy here, we have a Gojo basically in every room. It's getting kind of disgusting. Like, there's a Gojo in the bathroom. It's really weird. It's getting to the point where he has to watch me shower. I don't like it very much.
A friend of mine DM'd me, like, and she's like, oh, you gotta check out this new, like, Kugisaki figure that came out, and it was her, and she's like in an action shot, and it's got, like, the blue, like, energy, curse energy around her, and I was like, oh, that's so sick! I got some Nobara figures, I'm gonna, like, sit on it. And then a week later, in my email, was like, hey, it's coming to you, it's gonna be shipped soon, and I was like, what did I do? Did past Ann already know that future Ann wanted that figure?
Did you black out and order it?
I did! I somehow, like, blacked out and, like, pre-ordered that figure, and it is sitting on my kitchen table, and I'm like, yeah!
We've all blacked out shop.
Yeah.
It's fine.
What else?
So, this is where I am supposed to tell you that if at any point you guys have questions, we do have a mic up here, right? You can always walk up and line up, and that's how we know to be like,
If you guys want to, we don't have to do this one at a time. If you have a question for our guests, come on and line up down this row, and they'll start taking your questions. And I'm very, very loud, as you can see. But we did some microphone checks a little bit earlier. The microphone is coming up a little soft, so please come up and speak clearly into the microphone, okay?
What up,
yeah. So, here's a question. How big do you think season 2 will like break the internet once it hits?
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to talk about, I think, without getting into the spoiler territory. How many in here are the manga readers?
Okay, so y'all know.
So, you've all suffered some despair already.
Yeah.
You're all tempered. Your souls are somewhat deadened. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things you don't want to give any self-attention. I'm not gonna anything. Just see for yourself.
I'm excited to see how the animation is for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it already looks amazing, but every time I just love it.
No, I have to say, every time I really hope the employees at Mappa are getting you know, or getting proper naps in. Apparently every anime coming out ever will now be animated by that studio. Poor Mao. But yeah, it's gonna be great. I can't wait. I wish we could talk more about it.
But like we haven't even seen it, so like we don't even know.
For the anime only folks in this audience, I'm sorry, but also congratulations.
Sweet Zephyr Silver.
Hi, thank you guys all for doing this panel. First, quick thing, I'm happy you have a bathroom Gojo because we also have a bathroom Gojo in our house. Specifically, my roommates put it in to mess with me because they know that I'm kind of, you know, yeah. My question for you, incorrect answer only, of course, but what were the 3 words that Gojo said to Kato at the end of the movie?
First of all, I have been sworn to secrecy from the staff that I'm not allowed to say it.
Oh, yeah.
But there was, it was localized, first of all, before the incorrect answers. It was localized, I'm allowed to say that, and I'm allowed to say that it was 3 words. But having said that, it was probably, God, what do you guys think? What do you guys think the last 3 words were?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken. There's one of the last 3 words were.
Literally, I don't know.
Those are 3 words.
Exactly.
Settle and smash. People still settling in Smash, to be honest. Smash your face. Smash your face. You were really good friends, you guys. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey. Big fans of like all of you. This question in particular is for Anne. Nobara is so cool, and honestly, when I first started reading the manga before the anime came out, I was like, Nobara is my favorite character because Nobara is a woman who her entire personality is the fact that she's a woman. She's feminine. She's like has feminine qualities while also being really strong, and she also really, I'm sure people ship, you know, her with other people, but doesn't really have any main love interest or anything like that. She's just cool. So what is it like playing a strong woman like that in anime in general or any medium for you?
Thank you for that question, person I've never met before. Thank you for bringing that up. Like, what resonates with people about Nobara is that she is unapologetic about who she is, and she doesn't care about what society has to say about women because she's just going to do whatever she wants. Whatever toxicity that might actually also have inside of it, sure. But I love that she's a woman who comes in and she's already like pretty fully realized from go. And that's so cool to see, and she's there and she's waiting for everyone else to catch up to her in many ways. And that's so cool. And it's so refreshing to be on a show where all of the women on the show are like much more three-dimensional and are less about over-sexualization. Not that that's like, it has its place. You know, and Uwu has its place. Not in Jujutsu Kaisen. And I love that for it. I absolutely love that for it.
JJK is not so much an Uwu show. I mean, Gojo's kind of Uwu.
He's not as Uwu as it gets.
He's not as Uwu as JJK.
Rika's definitely toxic, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Hi. This is probably a question that you guys probably get a lot. Opinions on ships. I know Nobara doesn't really have that many ships, but there's Maki.
I think what's interesting about Jujutsu Kaisen is that, you know, the manga creator, for the most part, isn't really concerned with everyone's romantic lives. There's kind of like other stuff that's like really important happening in the world, and they're all kind of just like, you know, on task. But I get that people are like, they're really invested in the characters, and they love seeing like the relationships with these characters, and I think I think most ships are valid.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I personally. We should all ship Jennifer
It's the
Lawrence.
purest ship
Yes.
in the
Us,
series.
X, Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, me personally, like, I'm kind of a fan of Nomaki. And maybe I've said this a few times, but that doesn't invalidate other Nobara ships just because, like, it's not canon. So, go have fun.
And then, Kaiji, what's your opinion on Satoru?
Satoru. I think back when they were in like school together, I think it's a really cute ship. Because like I think back when they were like just classmates, they balanced each other out really well, you know, like they sort of even though they were both kind of I hesitate to use the word kind of cringy sometimes, right? But they were supportive of each other's cringe, you know, and that's lovely. You know, you need someone like that. Worst thing to happen to either of them was oh, I can't say it.
No, you can say
I can't say it.
Watch season 2 when it
Watch
comes
season
out.
2. So yeah, back when they were in school, I support the show. Yeah.
Okay, question. Have you done any voice act? What are some other characters that you voice acted? And while I have the mic, I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated wham I should have to a server?
Wait, I didn't hear the last one.
What's the recommended amount of dedicated wham I should have to a server? Okay. Anyways, what other character do you voice act?
Oh, yeah. It's
I still want to know what that last part was, even if we're not answering it. I still support dedicated wham. Oh, gotcha.
okay, cool.
I'm sorry, I'm old. There needs to be some sort of like little sign someone holds when a meme is about to happen.
Like warning, you may not understand. Warning.
Yeah, exactly. Warning, you may not understand under the age of 35.
Yep.
What about you guys? What kind of characters have you voiced that you also?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
I voiced Mito and Sora Online. From the movies, the sequel to that is still out. I don't know.
It's great.
And I voiced Echidna in ReZero. I voiced Tama in Insomniac Files. Nessa in Pokemon, specifically Quiet Wings. And Kimberly in Street Fighter 6.
Mirko.
And Mirko! I was like going through my head, I'm like, oh, I'm blanking out. Who I voiced?
I forgot that was popular. It's fine. It's fine. It's good to give love to the other characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got the shy.
I voiced Raiden Shogun and Genshin Impact.
Oh my God!
Are you just learning this right now? No, it's okay. I think that's a lovely moment. If you're able to start this right now. Hey, what's up? What else am I voiced? I'm the current voice of Sabine in A Miraculous Ladybug. I'm Tonari Into Your Eternity. I just blanked on my whole CV. But, and I played Bambietta and Bananas in the new season of Bleach.
I mentioned earlier I voiced Dazai in Bungo Stray Dogs. Let's see, in like video games and stuff, you can hear me as Ichiban Kasuga in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Other anime you might hear me from, I was Emiya Archer in the Fate series. I was Guts in Berserk after 2016. Yeah, a bunch of fun stuff like that. Thank you for the... Oh, and yes, Satoru from Demon Slayer. Satoru from Demon Slayer. Best win to Hashira Boy, who will hopefully do some stuff in the next 2 seasons. I don't know. Like, thank you for the question. And the meme that we didn't understand.
Clank.
Was that? Oh, yeah, Clank. The actual star of the 2016 Berserk show.
I first wanted to say, I don't know if the person that really likes Gojo. He looks like he's my least favorite. And then second, do you think Gojo's type is a tall person, preferably over the height 6 foot with long hair? It's kind of being recycled.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the first part of your question.
beginning, or like when I said, what is do you think Gojo's type is?
Oh, the first one, in the beginning.
Oh, my first one, I said that I don't really think Gojo is my favorite. And then I'm gonna add on to that again. My cat doesn't like you at all.
My cat, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Cats.
He attacks this husky.
It's because cats are smart.
He's just like it. And then what I was saying was that, do you think Gojo's type is a tall man, probably over 6 foot?
Yeah, probably well dressed with a tie. I don't know. That's mine. That's mine. Yeah. That's mine. I'm sorry. I have to separate the. Yeah.
And that's it. He likes to attack you every single time I take him out. So Gojo doesn't be hitting.
Wait, I'm sorry. The last part was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying that my cat really dislikes you. His name is Kyo. Because he's like the orange cat from Fruits Basket.
Oh, gotcha.
And then every single time I have my Gojo flesh out, I can't even play with him. Like, just have Gojo in a place of he attacks it immediately.
Oh, that's cute.
He's like digging.
I love that part.
I love
That
that.
cat's got
Yeah. I hope Gojo gets attacked by a cat later on. I mean, technically, the mangaka's little avatar is always a cat, right? And you can sort of argue that he's been attacking all of us for the past year or so.
I was just wondering, what was y'all's favorite scene to deliver lines for?
There's so many. I think for me it's the fight with Momo. And that speech that she gives. Yeah. With the squeaky mirror. Yeah, that's my favorite.
The best moments in it. I don't know. I think the scene, the episode where they were playing baseball, and then Gojo walks over the ants, and the laugh he does was really funny. I really enjoyed that one. We did that in one take. Kaiji, he's gonna walk over some ants, and he's gonna laugh. Throw something. All right.
It's that scene where Rika comes out for the first time in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Like really comes out, right? And she's just super excited. She's like, oh, I'm covered in red. It's so pretty. I love it! And it's like so awesome.
I just want to say that I'm very appreciative of you guys putting your lives, and making voice acting as your careers and bringing the characters of them to life. We're very thankful to be able to meet you, and we're all very thankful to meet you guys as well. My question is for all of you, and it's in the show Jujutsu Kaisen, we know that the characters you voice are your favorites, but who are your actual favorites?
Not me.
True. Yuta. Yeah. Thank you guys.
I thought they were gonna say like, thank you for putting your lives at stake. Like danger, and I'm like,
are we?
Maybe mine,
I always, every time someone brings up Nami, I try to pitch him to people as like the boyfriend material, but like he'd be so trustworthy, you guys. He's so reliable.
He wants to be home.
Yeah. The dude will fold your laundry. Like he's one of those dudes. You know what I mean?
He won't work overtime now.
No, he won't work overtime. But that means he'll be home for Netflix every night.
He knows his worth. Like, setting boundaries. It's a healthy relationship.
We stand on it.
So my question is for Anne. I read somewhere that you were a forensic scientist somewhere.
Yeah.
I went to school for forensic science.
Did you really?
I did. So I was wondering what made you want to completely switch career tracks?
So I was doing all this like concurrently. All right. So I got my MFA. Let me go back. I have a bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering, but then I went and got an MFA in acting, and then student loans were about to hit, and like apparently that those 2 degrees made me overqualified to like work at Target. So I was like, okay, literally, I could not get hired by a Target or a retail store or a restaurant. Dang, trust me,
Never experienced it.
I'm so sorry. But like, I was like, okay, let me use like my science degree, and I found a listing for a job like in forensic science, and I like loved CSI, you know, like, and I was like, okay, that sounds interesting, and I like, not audition.
Audition for that. Solve this crime in order to book this job.
No, that's too stressful. Like, I applied for the job, like I interviewed for it, and then I found out like what I did specifically was accident reconstruction. So like I was an assistant to a gentleman who would be hired as an expert witness on cases that were like auto collisions or like premises liability. So if someone slips and falls in a Target and then sues Target for like back pain or whatever, like my boss might have been hired to be an expert witness on one side or the other, and I would be the assistant, like reading all the reports, doing any sort of math or physics that were required to like, you know, help bolster the argument. And then I wrote so much more. I wrote so much more in those 7 years than I did like my entire like life of school. It was great.
So much.
Yeah.
Did you interview for the role of Nobara too?
Yeah.
It's about to solve a crime.
Yeah, they made me solve a crime. It was weird.
That's good.
Yeah.
I will start off by saying that most of my friends who could consider they're all hard of hearing or deaf. So when I try to describe JJK to them, it's very complicated. So my question is, if you could describe at least your favorite or your own characters as one word, so when people ask me from that one word down, how would you describe this person? What would it be?
Yandere.
There's no sign for that.
I guess sassy would be a good like encapsulating. Is there a sign for ooh?
Oh, you figure so. It's 3 letters. Nothing else? Nothing else? Any good adjectives? Minus the sassy and the ooh is not.
One word for Gojo.
One word for Gojo.
Idiot. Is really excellent.
Shitposter.
Shitposter. Is that one word? Shitposter.
Yes.
Shitposter.
And I think thank you because I would say Jujutsu Kaisen is one of my favorite animes that you could ever.
Aww, yeah.
And I would say this was like one of the first animes that I like bought the manga and I actually started watching it stuff and so I just say thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions.
I was going to ask if there was a, not necessarily because of, it could be because of your voice or because of like emotional, but was there any sort of scene in Jujutsu Kaisen or not in that series and another series you voiced that was particularly harder for you to do than other scenes?
Sorry, that's a thinker.
So Gojo hasn't had too many of those scenes yet. There was some stuff in the movie with Satoru. But I think for me, like the hardest emotional scene I've ever probably had to do was at the end of Yakuza, Like a Dragon. There was if you guys have played Yakuza games, there's generally a structure to most of the stories where there's a very heavy emotional beat right at the climax of the game, right? It's something the series is sort of known for, and for Yakuza Like a Dragon, it was no different. We basically set aside an entire day for that scene, because the clients wanted it just so, right? There was a lot of crying that day, a lot of yelling, a lot of sniffling, a lot of ugly stuff. But we worked at it for 2.5 hours just to make sure everything was, tip top. It was probably the hardest, technically and emotionally, I've ever had to work in one session.
I'm trying to think, like, it's funny because like Nobara, like she hasn't had to go there like that in that way, and anger is a much easier emotion to play. But I'm trying to think one So I play Eurus in Violet Evergarden the movie. I'm sorry for making you cry. So at the very end of the movie, it's like the climax, and it's very emotional, and Eurus is having this like very emotional phone call with his friend that he had kind of like been pushing away for a really long time, and they needed to like have this moment or else, right? And like that one was hard for me because that was so emotionally fragile. And just watching the original Japanese, like at the end of it, like I was in a puddle of tears in the corner of my closet at the time, and then like my director and the engineer were all a puddle of tears, and we were all just crying on the line together, and I was like, how are we gonna do this? Take a step, crying. He has to start not crying. But we worked through it. Like it took like some passes because because there has to be an arc, right? You can't just start already weeping. So it took us a little while to get through it, but like, I think what came out in the end is really, really lovely. So, tears, like those emotional scenes like that are the hardest to do because they ask the most of you, like of your vulnerability. And we spend so much of our lives doing the opposite.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's really cathartic when we do, which is cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've really had that with Rika yet, but I have had that with another Rika in Wonder Egg Priority. I remember, I forget what episode it was, but it was when the girls were all sitting down, or the group was all sitting down, and they're in the cafeteria, and Rika was, being herself, just very overconfident stuff. She was talking about her mom, and the others were like, hey, you're kind of hard on your mom, and she was like, no, because my mom is terrible, and blah, blah, blah. And I personally have a bad relationship with my biological mother. So how do you kind of tap into that, like, that kind of resentment? That's a little hard, because I don't think I guess to be candid, I haven't really, like, processed those feelings very much, so it was like one of those weird moments where it's like, oh, dang, I feel pretty, I'm feeling it more than usual, I feel like sometimes there could be a wall up when it comes to that emotion, like, yeah, you're doing it, yeah, you kind of feel it, but at that point it's like, the wall is down. So that was a tough scene for me, but I was happy with what I did, so.
I just want to add really quick. I think in acting, the two hardest things any actor can ever do is make someone laugh and make someone cry. Like that's it. That's why on like drama masks, like theater masks, is like happy, sad, right? It's I like to make fun of method actors a lot because it's fun. But like emotional recall is actually so important. Like in everyday life, right? If a friend of yours is sad, as an empathetic human, right? You will probably cry with them and just be sad with them, right? If you're an actor and you're trying to elicit that same response, it's much more difficult because you're not there in person. They don't have anyone there to relate with directly, so you have to sort of tap into something in you that makes them hear you and actually trigger that human sadness response. It's actually very difficult because it's very hard to fake sad. I don't think any of our peers fake the sadness when they go, but they have to actually tap into something.
Yeah.
So, comedy and cry. Thank you.
As a random thing, like, whenever I'm like feeling any kind of emotion, instead of like actually feeling the emotion, I'll just kind of observe how I'm feeling. So
Oh, you store it? You store it away for later?
Yeah. Oh, I see how exactly my body is feeling anxiety. Let me remember that.
Oh, totally, yeah. Yeah, where that lives in your body. Oh.
Being an actor, like, messes you up so bad, you're like, oh my god, this is so useful. I can't wait to pull this out.
As if it makes you feel better, Kaiji, both my cats like my dog.
Oh,
that makes you feel better.
That does make you feel better.
What's up? What's up, guys? Yo. I just have a quick question for all of you. As voice actors in general, I'm the type of person who, if I hear my voice on a video with my friends, I cringe. When you consume your own media, I don't know how often you do or whatever, but when you consume your own media, do you like judge yourself a lot harsher than just enjoying the show for itself and your performance? Do you like, damn, I wish I could have delivered that line with this type of inflection. instead of this.
Yeah.
But do you, like, does that bother you while you watch the show? Do you still enjoy your own work a lot of the time? Or does it, or you sit there and you're like...
For me personally, because I'm always trying to get better at what I do, I try to watch everything I do at least once just for homework, right? So during that homework session, yeah, I'm exactly what you did. I'm just like, you know, like, it's like, you know, it's like anything. Any professional who looks over their work, right? And, you know, like a blacksmith may be like, oh man, I left some scaling here, I should have grinded a little better. And the same thing with performance, right? You'll hear a certain note, be like, the storytelling was off here, it could have been better if I just shipped it. We all do it.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a line between having a critical eye open when you're watching back something that you're in, versus like just like dogpiling on yourself about it. You know, like I think it's healthy to like, it's for us because this is our work and we just want to get better at what we do. Is to like clock into, okay, this one maybe wasn't my favorite take. I don't know why they used that one. Whatever, and just be like, okay, well then next time I'll just try to only give good takes.
I'll just be perfect.
I'll just be perfect. That's so easy. No, but you know, but I don't know if I speak for all of us, but it's to a certain degree, like you have to get used to it. You have to get used to being able to hear your voice back and not just cringe. You can cringe a little, but.
And you will the first couple of years. You'll cringe, yeah. You're like, that's what it sounds like.
Well, we all love what you do. Thank you.
I just want to say it's extremely euphoric to see you guys here. Like, I've never actually seen your faces or like heard your voices outside of the show. So like being able to experience it in a different way, it's like it just hits my heartstrings a little bit. But I wanted to ask, without like any major giveaways, what are you guys most anticipating for the next season coming out soon? Whether it be, how we react to it or characters, like I want to hear a little bit of a hot take.
Again, it's very difficult to talk about without spoiling anything, but I'm really looking forward to getting to dive into like the high school life of Gojo and Satoru. That's going to be really fun. And I literally can't mention anything after that without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I think that first arc that's going to come up, which is the story of like them in high school, is so foundational for what happens next. So like, yeah, I'm just so excited to see that play out so that we can like dive into the second part.
The stuff.
Yeah, the real stuff.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
First, I just wanted to say that I love all of you, and Jujutsu Kaisen was the anime that got me through a really tough time a few years ago, so I just want to say thank you. I'm really making a Gojo sound. Anyway, if there was a character in Jujutsu Kaisen that you, well, let me restart that. If you weren't voicing the current characters you currently would, who would you be voicing in Jujutsu Kaisen?
I'm so sorry.
If I wasn't voicing Nobara, I would want to voice Maki. All their own best.
I probably would go with Maki too.
Yeah.
For manga.
Oh my god. No spoilers.
No, sorry. I think it's just so good. It's just so good.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Hey, question. You voiced Rika Shogun.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how much does Mihoyo tell you about the character? Like, what's coming in advance? Like,
Oh, don't tell me anything that's coming in advance. No. Like, when I go in a session, like, I get to know, like, what's pertinent to the character in that scene that we're doing, and nothing more. So, like, for example, when you first meet Rika Shogun, and, like, when you first come to Inazuma, there's all this stuff that goes on with, what, Ayaka, Toma, Yoimiya, all these other characters. I had no clue any of that was happening, so all I knew was, like, the little bit that she did in version 2.0.
Oh.
Yeah. So I go in pretty blind when I play the game.
Oh.
Yeah. So sorry, I can't give you any hints.
Oh, I want some secrets.
Sorry, no secrets.
Oh, come on.
Hello.
difference I think you can see between like anime versus video games would be that in video games you have more lines that are very utilitarian, like they serve purposes. You see that less in anime because it's more narrative and structure, right? And so like with a video game, you have to do parts like, oh, I'm low on ammo, go there, enemy at 5 o'clock, all that stuff. Like that's instructive to the player. You still have to do the acting homework behind it, but you can be cognizant of that.
One good thing, Anairis actually commented on a little bit, but one cool thing I like about video games over anime, and don't get me wrong, I love limiting anime. Anime, when you're creating characters, you already have a skeleton there that needs to be sort of filled out along its bone structure, you know what I mean? But where in video games, unless it's like a JRPG where there's already established characters that you have to sort of act the same way, you get to create the skeleton yourself. There's a lot more character creation that you can do in video games because a lot of it isn't set, You are the one coming up with it instead of the original Japanese actor. So that's the part I like about video games at least. But otherwise, yeah, there are timing issues, but there are a lot less flip-flops you have to hit in video games, and that's so good. It's so pretty. Mouth not seen all the way.
Thank you.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
You guys doing well? Appreciate you for coming out today. This question is mainly directed towards Gojo's voice actor, and I know this is going to delve a little bit into spoilers. If you don't want me to ask the question, I get it. Before I ask the question, have you read the manga? Yeah. The question is, what's in the box?
What's in the box? I can't tell you what's in the box. I can't tell you what's in the box. I can tell you there's a couple of boxes.
Don't you think he'd just be sitting in there just playing
Yeah, doing like a podcast.
Yeah.
Cheetos. He's just surrounded by
I bet
Cheetos.
Gojo's taking up crocheting.
Right?
Yeah, he's crocheting some nice blanket.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, hi. I just want to say I love you guys so much, and considering this is my first convention, meeting you guys, seeing you guys, this is such like a surreal moment. You guys are such a bucket list item for me that I was like, I couldn't even imagine that this was like my first experience at a convention. My question is, what two characters that you boys do you think would be like best friends? And I have an answer for you. I have a thought. And also, I love your Twitter and your like black feather stuff. I love that your chopsticks were so cool. Yeah, so I have a thought, but I want to hear your thought.
I think we're probably on the same.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Is it Dawson?
Oh no.
No.
I was Gojo and Detective Pikachu.
Oh, Gojo and Detective Pikachu.
I think they somehow get along. I like it.
Imagine Gojo in the place of Tim and Detective Pikachu. Hey Tim, we need to stop R. Or Gojo, we need to stop R. And then Gojo's like, I don't know, he's like Hollow Purple Mewtwo, or like he's like fighting the Pokemon himself. And it's like, Gojo, no, stop, that's not all. Gojo will be the worst Pokemon trainer.
Oh no.
It's the worst Pokemon trainer. But
any other thoughts?
I don't know what my answer to your question is. Oh no. Do you have one yet?
I mean, it's hard for me to think of which of my characters would be okay with hanging out with the tiger version of Rika.
It could be like any two characters that you boys.
Any two? Yuriko and Harriet. Harriet for Ruby. They're both funny.
I feel like maybe Nobara and like Bandietta would get along really well.
Oh, yeah.
They have like similar energy. I like it.
I just from the Somnium Files, right? I voiced a character named Momo, this Yakuza guy. I think he and Ichiban from Yakuza Like a Dragon would hang out probably, because Momo is a huge geek, loves idols and stuff, and Ichiban's a huge geek. I think very well.
Thank you so much.
Is that your type of house?
Yakuza, yeah, probably, yeah.
Nerdy Yakuza.
Nerdy Yakuza.
Yeah.
I have two
excited.
It was our first time going to convention, and it was our...
It was my first convention.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah!
Same. My first one.
Oh my God. Let's go.
Such a great experience. That might have been like our first panel, and at the end of it, we were like, oh my gosh, that was so great. And we were like, sort of, we were in like the second row, and we were like, they're so cool. And then your life is like, that is really cool. Oh my gosh, now we love your wife as well. So what are your tips for getting such an excellent wife?
That's myself. No, I'm kidding. Well, Marcy, we met over a game of, we were playing tabletop. We were playing, I think, Vampire the Masquerade. And she walked in, and I was DMing, and she was the most prepared player I have ever seen in my life. Like, she had printed out an info packet about her character this thick, you know what I mean? She had drawn artwork of her, like, to come to this session, so I was like, wow, I am grossly under-prepared as a DM for this. And then, I don't know, we got along really well, and it just feels like one day you came over for tabletop and never left, you know? It was really sweet. I don't know, I guess become best friends with someone and marry them?
Yeah, that's a good, yeah, I agree with that.
It's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
My other question was, is there sort of like a disparity at all between the characters that you feel you're like best at voice acting versus the ones that you like really enjoy voice acting?
Oh, that's good.
Best at versus enjoy?
Yeah.
Oh. Aww.
That's a really good question.
That is a good question. Because usually I feel like the characters that come easiest to me are the ones I enjoy the most. But even like a character like Rika Shogun is not, she's not that similar to me. Like it took a bit to like get to like where she is in terms of like creating that character. But I find her so immensely like interesting that like I think I really enjoy diving into what she has going on with her Genshin Impact. Yeah.
I really love villains, but I never book villains. Like, I just like one of my bucket list roles is Chucky from Child's Play, right? I love Chucky. He's my favorite horror movie. I love him. But like I voiced like 3 villains in the entire 16 years. You know, I've done voiceover, so I guess I have a goofy little guy voice. I don't know. Yeah, you know, maybe just a little goofy guy.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm more lucky enough. I feel like I tend to voice characters that I probably would be fans of, like depending. Like ReZero, Echidna's super cool, and I try to think of it from a fan perspective because I watched it as a fan, but then it was like weird when you're like playing the character. But I feel like a lot of times I end up voicing like my favorite characters, and I'm never into like one type of character. I kind of jump around depending on like who I find most interesting, and that also tends to be my process when auditioning. I will look for the most interesting character because I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to be playing this character for how many sessions? I want to enjoy it and like challenge myself. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So I've gone through the anime twice now. Now I'm going to go through the 3rd time. So I sub. So I have a question for. I have 2 questions. One's for is it Anairis? Anairis. So you play kind of that onions character. How do you get into that kind of mindset?
Yeah, what's your plan?
My method? I don't know. I just kind of like try to tap into the childish part, especially like princess. And if you like voicing her when she was young, it's like there's that innocent quality. And you know, like the first thing you're introduced with her, like she's laughing with you, just having a great time, despite having some trauma that maybe doesn't really cover, but it is there. And so, you know, I felt like that was kind of easy to do. It's like, oh, I'll just be child me. But And then first Rika, I was just sort of like, oh, this manic energy, like very toxic love, which I feel like we all at some point have like a toxic thing going on in our lives. So it's just kind of like channeling that, like, oh yeah, I remember when I had an unhealthy obsession with a person. Let me just do that and just, you know, deepen it up, which was fun because I don't get to like do that often, like actually like manipulate my voice to sound more monsterish. So I just went for it, which is what I usually do. I just go for it.
And for, I guess the you have to consider doing ASMR. Not for me, of course, just you.
It's okay, good for you.
Nobara ASMR is just like her telling you about the things she wants you to buy her.
Her telling you what she wants you to buy her while she's like doing like carpentry.
Yes.
Yeah. Carpentry, yeah. Right? Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, what kind of customer service job would each of your characters have?
Each of our characters?
Nobara would not be great at customer service.
I would watch the episode.
Probably bill collecting.
She'd get so mad at every customer.
Is haunted house customer service?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Customer service Gojo. That is customer service. That's true. There's a lot of service involved in that job. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, he would cam for sure. He'd be a cam dude.
Yeah.
There it is. You found it.
There it is. Customer service.
And my next question is, out of the two characters, who has the most Riz?
Who has the most what?
Riz. As in like...
Oh.
Charisma.
Again, I'm old. I'm so sorry. I think it's Gojo.
It's let's see. In the whole show,
It's Gojo.
Mahito.
I know.
He's got that like tired millennial Riz,
Right.
you know?
No, but like when Gojo like literally like takes off his glasses and then like the sparkles come on the screen, like you can't deny that. No, my heart belongs to that.
That's true. I want to say no, but my heart says no.
Thank you so much for being here. So I'm an aspiring actor, and it's really inspiring to see you guys, like as people of color, voice actors be recognized as major characters in the popular anime series. So I was wondering if you could speak on your experiences as people of color navigating the entertainment industry and breaking down those barriers.
I'm thinking. Well, for me, I was born in China, right? So I was born in Shanghai. So this entire American saga in my life has been wild. When I first came to this country, it was completely, it was such a shock, right? It was such a culture shock. It took me like 10 years to get used to life here in America. But like, I'm gonna get a little personal for me, but like my family went through a lot of stuff in China. Like my family survived the Cultural Revolution that happened there. So to be able to be here and to pursue this adventure that would have been completely impossible for me had I stayed where I was, it's a dream come true. And I'm always very, very thankful for it. And I know that POCs do suffer challenges in this industry, but I always have this mindset like, well, but at least I still get to be here, and at least I still get to do this, you know? So coming from a thankful place helps, but I won't lie and say there's not challenges. There are. Casting folks can get, I don't know what the word is, lazy?
Yeah,
Or
it's lazy.
It's
no,
lazy?
it's that casting folks, studios, they want like the path of least resistance to cast their projects. And if they already have like a set number of people on the list that they can just easily like throw it at and then pick someone from there, like that's easy. that's easy. And like how hard, it's so hard to get onto those lists, to get someone's ear, you know, and there's no one way to do it. And like, it's not even like we can walk someone in, you know what I mean, personally, because like that doesn't even do anything half the time, over half the time. Yeah, it's a weird industry that has a lot of like, you know, barriers and like there's like a lot of fog, dense fog that you can't seem to navigate through it. But if you're tenacious, and if you're willing to put in the time, because I mean, like to me, like it took me like 8 or some years to like crack in with Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was working a little bit here and there over those 8 years, along with my day job. But like, you gotta be ready for a lot of hard work. Yeah, but it's not impossible.
I was going to add one more. Like, there's this weird thing that happens where, like, when I first started, right, I was doing everything I could to not just be the Asian guy, right? But nowadays, casting has changed a little bit, where there's this, and it's not all positive, there's this thing where, like, casting folks who are now, like overly, like, thinking about the race, right? So they save you for that character, right? I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but I've certainly been saved for an Asian guy, right? So it's a constant flux of change. It was one way for a really long time, now it's like all the way over here, and maybe someday we'll be back in the middle, but you just sort of have to evolve along with the casting trends and do your best. It's wild. Yeah.
I guess the last thing I'll say, you know what they said, pretty much covered it, is you will find when you first start, when you're at that level where you're able to work in the industry, you will find that you won't have a lot of flexibility at first. You will find that your white peers will be able to jump around very much, and you won't be able to do that because they're either not acknowledging you or you're pigeonholed into playing whatever race you are. And it sucks. My way of handling it is I don't mind voicing characters that are good representation, like Nessa and Yatco, they were fantastic representation, I'm happy to do that. But then, you know, whenever, sometimes I'd be like, you know what, I don't want to go for the black character in this cast. And One Direct Priority is a classic example, because I remember auditioning for that, all the girls, I only auditioned for and Rika, because I had a feeling that if I auditioned for Nehru, I would book it. And maybe that's like kind of arrogant, but into the session, after booking Rika and stuff, like my director said, hey, you know, if you auditioned for Nehru, you would have gotten it. And I'm like, So, you know, it's unfortunate, but you have more control than you think. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say thank you for coming. I know you guys may be tired, but you've put in a lot of energy, and I really appreciate the amount of energy you put out too. But I just wanted to ask, have you guys ever had have you ever looked at co-stars' performances and you've been like, wow, that's a really good performance, and you have to tell, or you have to tell them?
Yeah, for sure. I steal stuff from my peers all the time. Yeah, you know that. Yeah, exactly. That old trick, good artist, you know, blah 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 blah, but a great artist steals, right? That's absolutely true for actors. Like, if you don't have, this is a great tip for anyone like getting into acting. If you don't have money for classes, turn on a show or a movie that has actors you enjoy and actors whose performances elicit some sort of emotional response from you. Watch that, memorize the points where you feel something, and deconstruct why it happened. Why did you feel that? What about their read made you feel that way? It's a great free resource for anyone to be like, oh, okay, because they said it this way, it made me think about this. Yeah, it's a great way to freely improve your craft without having to spend money.
Have you ever, when you've gotten a role, have you ever had that starstruck moment where you've met someone that you may have idolized in the past, and you've just gotten giddy about it or something?
I've gotten better about it. Yeah, I used to have that all I'm generally immune to it now, except for like original Power Rangers cast members. You know what I mean? I still don't know what to say to those people. Like, I freak out. I start sweating. I'm like, I really like doing Power Rangers. Like the first time I met Johnny Bosch, it was almost disastrous. Like I was like, I almost pooped myself. I was like, oh my god, you're the Black Ranger. Oh,
I try to play it cool, man. When I meet people that I admire, like I constantly am like finding myself on shows with all these people that like I admire their talents. And I just gotta keep playing it cool so they don't see that I'm just a big old nerd.
Yeah, for me, you know, I mean, I was an animator way before I got into this, right? Like, I grew up watching Fullmetal Alchemist and all that stuff, so, you know, I loved Mike McFarlane's work and Trina Fukushimara and so many people, and I've gotten the chance to talk to them and work with them, and I don't know, I think once you're in that work setting, like it's like, yeah, Kid B remembers that, but I'm just sort of like, oh, I feel like we're equals at this point. I don't call it. Yeah, so I don't think I've had a strong reaction like that yet. I feel like it might happen with Laura Bailey if I ever met her in person, but so far,
Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to stop by later on. We're going to be down in the all of us are going to be down in the dealer's room, the exhibitor hall, for autographs. So come check us out down there. Thank you. One more round of applause for our guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you.